Okay, I want to talk about how to spot for the back squat. We've now taught our athlete how to squat. Now we need to prepare them and their spotter for the situation where they start to struggle and they can't quite get the rep on their own. So during a back squat, I find the most efficient way to spot someone by hooking their pecs, by holding their chest essentially, hooking there and squatting with them. So they're in their set position right in front of me. I'm gonna get right next to them. I don't have to have that hook yet. I can hover in front of them, maybe 6 inches in front. But when they start to struggle and they start to have that hip come up first and that chest is down, I can pull up to get them back into a better position, right? So I find once they get set, you're in the squat pattern too. You're gonna squat with them. Your hands are right in front of their chest. You squat down with them and you come up with them. For every rep, maybe it's 1 rep, maybe it's 10 reps. You're gonna follow them every rep. But if they start to struggle and you start to see this, start pulling on their chest, trying to slowly give them a little bit so they can get back to that alignment. If they wanna keep fighting through it, that's up to you as a coach or as a spotter to keep doing it. Sometimes you gotta tell the athlete no. Sometimes you gotta say that you're raising your hips too soon, we're done, rack it. And you just gotta tell them. Sometimes they'll want to push them, I can do it. It's up to you, make your call. You are the professional. But when they're there, you're right in front of them. You're squatting down with them, and you're coming back up. You're right in there. You're in the safest position to be able to take load in case they do start to struggle. Because if you have to take some load in your legs, you're in a pretty good squat position right there, right? Your squat position, you would normally be here, but because their feet might be right there, you're a little wider, but you can squat with them. Now, if you're uncomfortable with holding the chest line, there's other ways you can spot. One way I've seen that some people like to do is they like to squat holding the bar. So someone's squatting, let's say someone's in front of me, they're squatting, and they're just right here, right? They're just holding it out as they're squatting. They start to struggle, they'll kind of pick it up a little bit. Typically when I see a spot like that, there might be a spot on each side. Most common you'll see is the one spot here, but sometimes when it gets really heavy, you'll see a triple spot, where you'll see a spot here, spot on this side, a spot on this side. In that situation, the person that is directly behind has control of what's going on. They're gonna say rack it, they're gonna say take it, whatever your cue is to pick the weight and help the athlete back in with setting in the J-hooks. The person that's right here has the control. They'll say on my cue, athlete gets set, picks the bar off, takes their steps, gets right on them, they're close by, hands maybe 6 inches underneath the bar, they'll follow it down as I follow down. We'll come up together, and if that's the only rep the athlete's doing, we'll say, take it, and we'll walk it in, put the bar in. In the situation, sometimes you'll see a double spot, and that's just side to side. I don't like that spot as much personally, because if this person's on a different page than this one, and they take the bar too soon, that puts the athlete in a situation where they're like this. And that's not a good position to be in. If that load's gonna be distributed differently, that can affect our body's mechanics and kind of cause some issues to the lower body. I prefer 1 spot and 3 spot. I don't really like the 2 spot in my personal preference. And the biggest thing I can say is that with a spotter that's directly behind, A, has control, and B, you're gonna follow them down. You gotta stay tight. You gotta be there with them in case something happens, and you gotta take the load. Or you gotta be able to give a little assistance when they need it. If you're back here and they start to struggle, you're already late to the game because you have to get in there and then get set and then try and help them up. Compared to being right there, working with them, talking to them even. I mean, the spotter isn't just there to make sure they're safe. Sometimes it's motivation. The spotter can totally chirp in someone's ear, just kind of giving them, hey, let's go, let's go. all right, one more, you can be the energy right here. Because you're the one person, it can be kind of an intimate moment between you and your athlete because you're gonna bring some juice for them. When we're doing maxes, I'm right up in our athlete's ear, and I'm not saying anything crazy. I'm just like, all right, let's go. Like, whatever their motivation is, and if I know the athlete well, I'll say that stuff there. You're not just there to make sure they're safe. That is really important, but also you're there to kind of provide some energy to make it either more enjoyable or a more successful lift.